Hey there, welcome to another episode of Legends with Elroy. Today I am excited to tell you another story about Billy Bob the Knight. Now this story starts as Billy Bob was taking a little rest. What was that? What time is it? Billy Bob got up and he walked to the door. And he opened it and there stood Porky the Porcupine. Yes, he was a porcupine, not a pig. A lot of people think he's a pig, but he was not. And next to him was Stanley the Skunk. And Billy Bob said, "What are you guys doing here? It's the middle of the night." And Porky said, "I know. But you see, Billy Bob, something is happening out there and we need your help. You see, I like to have a routine every day. So before I go to bed every night, I have a little bit of chocolate milk with a cookie. I love snickerdoodles. They're so good, and it's fun to say snickerdoodle. It's a funny word. But anyways, I have those, and sometimes I'll sit in a rocking chair by the fire and read a book, and then usually I just curl up in bed and take a nice long rest. But before all that, I'd like to go on a walk. So I was on one of those walks, just having fun, going around, singing a song. I have a little walking song I sing. It's like, I'm on a walk today, so fun to be on a walk today. There are birds in the trees. I'm on a walk today. It's not much and it's quite simple, but it does have quite a good beat. You just get around and you're like, ooh, this is good. And before you know it, you're done walking. It's good. But anyways, so suddenly I heard something. Boom. Whoa! Sorry. I just sneezed. It is quite dusty out here, Billy Bob. You really should use a duster. Billy Bob was like, yes, I guess you're right, I probably should. I do have that duster from Oscar. Porky, didn't you borrow that? And Porky was like, oh, I did. Yeah, I'll get it back to you. But anyways, I digress. So, see, the thing is, I came up on this clearing and I heard a noise. A boo, boo. Boo, boo. And I must say, Billy Bob, I didn't know what it was, but I've been thinking about it, and I think it might be a dragon. So I ran all the way home, and I got Stanley, and we came here right away. Billy Bob said, "But I thought you went on a walk, and that was before bed when it was still light, right?" And Porky was like, "You're right. I guess we didn't come here right away. I mean, I did cook some snacks, like some biscuits, some scones, some blueberry buckle. Oh, that was good. Also some croissants and some muffins. But it wasn't that much." Billy Bob was like, That's a lot of food. How'd you eat that much, Porky?" Porky was like, "I don't know. I'm on a seafood diet. Seafood and eat it." I heard that one recently and I thought it was really good. Although I don't eat fish. I really don't understand that. So, as porcupines, we're not really fish people. But I digress. See, the thing is, Billy Bob, we need to check this thing out. Billy Bob said, "I agree." So off they went. And as they came to the clearing, the light was starting to come up. Another way of saying that is that the sun was starting to rise. There's more than one way to say things. But anyways, they heard the boom, 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 boom. And Billy Bob said, "Okay, you two may want to stand back. This might be quite a fight." And as he turned to look at them, he realized Porky was gone. And he's like, "Wait a second, Porky, what are you doing up in that tree?" Porky was like, I just thought I'd get a good vantage point from up here. Be like an eye in the sky." "Billy Bob, I'm afraid of heights." Billy Bob was like, "Well, then why'd you climb a tree?" And Porky was like, "I don't know, it seemed like a good idea." So Porky stayed up in that tree, and he was eating biscuits while also being scared of heights. And Billy Bob and Stanley made their way to the clearing. And on the way there, Stanley said, "Billy Bob, I don't know what's about to happen, but I want you to know that I'm with you all the way. Behind you, but with you." And Billy Bob said, "It's very courageous of you, Stanley. Let's keep going." So as they made it to the clearing, Billy Bob drew his sword and he said, "Great beast, come out and face me." And it all grew quiet. All the boom, boom, boom stopped. And the only sound that could be heard was Porky in the tree.
"Oh, it's so high up here. Why do I get myself into these things? Mother always said, 'Porky, you be careful. You get yourself in trouble, and you always just step right in it.' Oh, these biscuits are pretty good, though."
Billy Bob said, "Step out, creature." And out stepped a curious creature. It was a goat. Not a mountain goat or anything like that, but just a regular goat. And it looked at Billy Bob, and Billy Bob looked back at it. And it said, "Billy Bob, my name is Gregory the goat." Billy Bob said, "How did you know my name?" And he said, "Well, I could hear you talking to Porky down the road. And of course, I've heard tales about you because people everywhere know who Billy Bob is." Billy Bob was like, "That's pretty cool. What are you doing here?" And he said, "Well, you see, Billy Bob, I'm something of a food critic. People say that I'm the best there ever was. I wonder if they'll come up with another way to say that someday. Well, anyways, I'm a goat, as you can see, and I am quite the food critic. The king even had me in his court to test all the food. Some people say it was to see if stuff got poisoned, but that was beside the point. So the thing is, being a food critic, you get tired of people always saying, 'Well, he's a critic, he's not a cook.' Well, the fact is, I can make fantastic omelets, and I can make amazing food, like strudel. Strudel's so good." And off in the distance, they heard Porky say,
"Oh, strudel is good. I'm on my way down."
Porky. And Billy Bob said, "So, you're a cook. Well, what are you doing here and with that hammer?" And Gregory said, "Well, you see, I have decided to open a restaurant. So I bought this piece of property and I am building it now. Actually, I'm almost done. Would you like to eat the first meal here?" And Billy Bob said, "That sounds great." "You really seem like a pretty cool guy, Gregory." Gregory said, "Well, I do say I am pretty good." But, that sounds pretty prideful, but anyways, I'm a goat, and sometimes we hold tightly to things. Billy Bob was like, "That sounds like that might be the case, but anyways, well, what do you think you'll make for us?" And he said, "I will make some strudel." And Billy Bob said, "Ooh, that sounds good." But just then, they heard someone on the road, and off in the distance, they heard, "Hey there, Billy Bob." And he turned around, and it was none other than Barry the brown bear and his cousin Peter the polar bear. And Barry said, "Billy Bob, how are you doing? What are you doing here?" And Billy Bob said, "Barry, I'm doing great. What are you doing here?" "Well, I'm here to see what's going on. What are you doing here?" And Barry said, "Well, you know, I sell Barry the brown bear's bone broth. And Gregory, not George, different guy, he wanted some bone broth because apparently he makes a fantastic soup. So I'm bringing it. See, Peter the polar bear has the cart behind him." And Billy Bob said, "Oh, that's awesome. We were just about to all eat some strudel. Do you think you could make enough for all of us, Gregory?" And Gregory said yes. So after quite a while, they all got to eat the food. And they all agreed it was, in fact, the best they'd ever had. Even Porky said that, and he has eaten a lot of strudels. He's kind of like a strudel expert, as well as a biscuit expert, and a croissant expert, and other pastries, you know. But anyways, it was quite a good meal. And afterward, Billy Bob said, "Gregory, I'm gonna have to come back here again because that was amazing." And Porky said, "Yes, it was. I might start coming over here every day. That was so good." And so, after they all had a little chat, they all went their separate ways. And Billy Bob went home and he said, that would be a good time to take a bath. A splish splash, I was taking a bath. Oh, it's about a Saturday night. A rubba-dubba, just relaxing and someone was at the door. But that, my friends, is a story for another day. Well, I'll see you guys in the next episode of Legends with Elroy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya.